monitor? Really? Oh my God.
You
One
look
second, please.
fantastic.
Thank
You,
you.
you
Hey,
just
I want to
put
show you
yourself
something, but
together in
don't,
5. Yeah.
yeah, don't share this on the episode, okay?
All right.
You
Oh,
see?
yeah.
Let's put
I'm
this
gonna
like
show you
there.
something.
Okay.
Wow.
What are you gonna show me? Oh my God, he's so cutie pie. Oh my God.
This is
He's so
Bella.
adorable.
She's
Oh my
almost
God,
4 months old.
Bella, I love her. Hey, David, and welcome to Stellar Life Podcast. It's wonderful to have you here.
Thank you. I'm feeling pretty good already.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good just talking to you. And we talked a little bit before, and you just seem like such a great guy.
I feel like I know you. Like we just met, and you're so easy to talk to, and it's like we're just hanging out. You know, I just showed you my puppy, and
Oh, your puppy's so cute.
yeah,
Oh,
I feel like we've
yeah.
been friends for a while.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So why don't we start by you sharing a little bit about your passion? Why do you do what you do, and how did you start?
I'm a geek. I'm an absolute geek for personal growth, transformation, communication, and deep connection. And I suspect it's because I didn't grow up with that.
Mm.
When I had a tragedy when I was young, and I think all of us have had something in our life as we grew up that might have interrupted or impacted us in some way. Mine was when I was 7 years old, my 5-year-old sister died in a traffic accident, and I
Oh my
watched it
God.
happen. So I was there, no parents around, and I witnessed that. And then I grew up without a sister, and I didn't know that anything was happening. I didn't know that I didn't grieve. I didn't know that I learned not to feel and to shut my feelings down. I didn't know that I learned to use my left brain and to be intellectual and to get super smart and create results in time and space and geek out on systems. That's what I developed.
Wow.
And it worked really well. Like I became a consulting actuary to Fortune 100 companies in New York, was enjoying it, but something was missing because I was working with people around numbers and not working with people about people. So
Mm.
fortunately, I discovered a personal growth course. I thought these people smile too much and they're wearing name tags. I don't trust them at all, but I'm going to get in and out, and that's all. I'm not going to become a self-help junkie because I saw those people who do personal growth as weak. They just can't work out their own life. That was my viewpoint. Well, fortunately, they cracked me open. They cracked my cynicism. And I got to see that there were massive amounts of things I did not know how to do, and particularly in the relational area. So
Mm.
I quit my job on Park Avenue, went back to Australia, and I spent the last 20 years learning how to feel, realizing I have a body, realizing this body has information to tell me. I just became aware of my body as I said that. And learning how to reveal the parts of myself that I didn't even want to reveal to myself. What is it about me that I don't like? What am I worried people might find out? Can I accept that? Can I actually love that? And then am I willing to take the risk to reveal that to the people that matter to me? And that's been a 20-year journey. So now I coach high performers and I can bring the business stuff. Let's talk about systems and results, time and space. I'm all over that. And how's your relationship with your kids?
I love that.
How's your relationship with your partner?
With
How's
your
your
puppy.
relationship with your puppy? Yeah, oh, truly, my relationship with my puppy is being influenced by all the work I've been doing in the last 6 months. I'm feeling my body as I'm with my puppy, and I'm opening up and I'm feeling my heart. So I want both of these for the world. I want great business results and success, and when you're on your deathbed, I want you to have zero regrets, knowing that you gave it all, and that includes your heart.
What are some of the things you achieved so far, where on your deathbed you can look back and say, wow, I did this. This is amazing.
What a great question. I'm proud of some of the business stuff. I'm proud of that I published a book with Jack Canfield writing the foreword. I'm proud
He's
that I did
great.
that. Yeah. I'm proud of joining the Transformational Leadership Council with Jack and John Gray and Don Miguel Ruiz. Like I'm proud of that. I'm proud of building what was the world's largest coaching business, and it just feels good to have some success around that. But the things I'm probably most proud of is on the personal side. I'm proud that I'm happily divorced to a wonderful woman,
Mm.
that I've kept that relationship, and 15 years after being divorced, last year I just went and stayed with her and her new husband and her 6-year-old kid, and
Wow.
I'm Uncle David.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm proud of things like that, the relationships that could have gone off the rails, and I've been able to use the techniques and skills to bring them back on and to stay in love. I just completed with an ex-girlfriend who for 11 years I did not want to be friends with her. And I
Mm.
finally got some ninja coaching that helped me get clear to a pathway, and I was vulnerable with her and I shared what was in the way, and she apologized for everything she'd done in our relationship, and I just
Wow.
wept.
I bet.
I wept and wept, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud that I was willing to risk being vulnerable with her. Those are, and the calls I've made. I've called people from my past, from high school, bullies from high school that I've been
Wow.
upset with, and I've completed with them, and that took a lot of courage, and I'm proud of that.
That's amazing. Wow. Um, there are so many things that you spoke about that I can resonate with. So me and my husband, we're the like two sides of the same coin. Even though like I noticed that because we've been after the years we've been together, uh we adopted each other's traits. Where at the beginning I was like the wild, all over the place one, all right brain, and he's very like structured, strategic, analytic, left brain. And now we're kind of like he's making jokes that I was like, wow, this is something that I would say. And I'm becoming more strategic, which is awesome. And I can also see his childhood was very difficult. And so it gave me, like what you said, gave me an insight to how he developed, because he's a genius and he taught himself computer language when he was 11, and he's really brilliant at what he does. Very, very smart man. And I can see how that was like just developing the left brain was blocking him from his emotions and from his body. And now, like since we're together, he's so much more in tune and so much more embodied.
Yeah,
But plus, he did a lot of work on his own that has nothing to do with me. So I like to
yeah,
take some credit, but it's all his job.
yeah. I'm sure you're to blame for a lot of the good things that's happened for him.
Yeah,
I
and
want I
so
want that I want that for everybody. There are some clients that come to me who have the left brain stuff. They're really good with the systems. Things are working quite well, but the relationships aren't quite humming. And also, if they're honest, their relationship with themselves, they're not liking themselves as much as they could. And then you've got other people who might be really good with some of the feeling, and they could use more structure, they could use
mhm,
more planning, they could use
yeah,
more productivity.
hmm
So I listen, and then like, what is it we can add, what's that piece that we could add that would have you be what you're talking about, with a balance of both sides.
yeah. You strike me as a very good listener.
Thank you. I like hearing that. I am still working on it, because
uh,
sometimes I just, like, someone just said something yesterday and I went straight to defense. I wanted to just tell my side of it. And so, sometimes I got to like almost grab myself and go, wait, let's get their world first. What's going on over there? It's so hard to make that switch or to catch it. I had a friend, she's delivering a training, and someone came up to her in the break and was mad at her. And he's like, you shouldn't have done that. You shamed that guy and blah, 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 blah. And she started to say, well, the reason I did that, and I whispered one word in her ear, Aikido.
Oh, I studied Aikido.
Aikido.
And I studied MMA, and I know the difference.
Nice. Well, for those who don't know, for our listeners, Aikido is redirecting energy, right? Using someone's energy against them, de-escalating. Would that sound right?
Yeah, Aikido is it's about being defensive rather than offensive,
Yeah.
and it's an art where 100-pound woman can take down a 300-pound man with ease because you are just guiding their energy.
Their
to the
energy.
floor.
That's right. So we teach something called emotional Aikido, how to handle it when someone's coming at you with a lot of charge. And so she started to defend, and I just whispered Aikido.
And what did she do?
And she switched. She stopped speaking. She turned her body to really face him, and she said, so what I'm hearing you say is, and she reflected back to him what she was hearing. And then she said, is there more? Tell me more, because I really want to get this.
It sounds like Mago Dialogue.
Like what?
Mago Dialogue.
I haven't heard of that.
Oh, it's a beautiful, it's a tool by Harville Hendricks for relationships where in a fighting situation where you fight with your partner, and the everything is very intense and escalating, you just say, can we have an Imago Dialogue right now? And then they say yes now or no in 3 hours. In 3 hours you sit together, and it's always one-sided, meaning you are the listeners, but only the listener, or you are the one who complains. So the questions are,
yeah, that's good.
okay, tell me more.
Yep.
So you really listen. Is there more? Did I get it? Reflect back. Did I get everything? No, you didn't. There is more. Okay. Did I get it? Reflect anything.
And that's
but
hard.
There is more. And then you go into empathy, and you say it makes sense that you feel the way you feel, and I can understand that you feel the way you feel. You don't even have to agree with them, but people just want to feel gotten. And the moment people feel gotten by you and then they know that you've listened, everything is calming down, and they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's actually on my side, and we are lovers, and actually, okay, we can make this happen. We can make this relationship happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's an ongoing practice for me. I catch myself, like someone just texted me and said, I'm disappointed with the photo you took yesterday. And I wanted to explain, well, you gave me 2 minutes notice, and I'm not a photographer, and I had to like prop it against a cushion and set a time in which I wanted to say all that. And I stopped and I went, Aikido. And I said, yeah, that photo could have been a lot better. Is there more? Is there more you want to say about it?
So you're a redhead. Does that mean you have more passion and more like you get triggered faster?
I don't get triggered faster. No, I don't know if I have more passion, but I do when I'm upbeat and when I'm into something. I'm pretty passionate.
I always imagine redheads to be like stormy.
Fiery. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a redhead, but I'm like that, and I do get triggered fast, and I do have to say what I say to myself is peace.
Right.
That's my word. Peace.
Right. No, I'm fairly stable emotionally, but I think part of it is that I probably learned to suppress a lot as a kid, and I just learned not to feel. So sometimes I can be angry and it's not really that clear to me. I'm just like, oh, I'm a little bit pissed. So it's kind of hard for me to express anger and be fiery and say, you did, you know.
I think it's also cultural, because I come from a society where we with our hands and everything is out there and this is how we solve conflict.
Yeah.
And
Where are
then
you
you
from?
you talk like this and you solve the conflict. Israel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so we solve the conflict and then it's okay. But I found here in the US a lot of people hold their emotions, or there was a lot of especially when I just came here, where people were really nice to me and I actually believed them. Where people say, "No, this is great. This is wonderful." And I actually believed them. I didn't see beyond. I was like, "Okay, I need to learn that this is like interesting is a code for this art piece is so boring," where people say this is interesting, or interesting can mean so many things, and I'm like, when I heard interesting I was like, oh, it's interesting. Mm-mm. So I
You
myself, for me, I had to find the balance, and now I'm like, totally in my personality half American and half Israeli, and I get to enjoy the best of both worlds.
This connection seems a little choppy. Maybe we should stop the video. You were just saying about people um, not saying exactly what they mean, and I think that's true. And one of the things that I'm passionate about is changing that and shifting that. So, for example, if you're at a party and someone's telling you a story and you don't want to hear it, right? They've been going on for 5 minutes and you're just not interested. What if you could say something other than interesting? What if you could maybe redirect it and say, "Hey, I notice I'm not feeling as engaged in this as when you were talking about the other thing. Can I ask you about that?" Um, Anything that involves more truth is something that gets me excited.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So you talked about vulnerability and risking being vulnerable. And if somebody is listening and like vulnerable sounds like a bad word,
Yeah,
vulnerable sounds like weakness, vulnerable sounds like people will not appreciate me, they will think I'm needy, and all the stories we have around this very loaded word,
yeah.
vulnerable. How do you define vulnerability and why do you recommend risking being vulnerable?
I define it, and this is how I define it in this moment. It just came to me. Vulnerability is exposing yourself to risk.
Mm,
So, by definition, if you're vulnerable, you are risking yourself. Like, so when a dog rolls over on its back, it's exposing its underbelly and sometimes its throat. And it's saying, "You could hurt me. I understand that. And I'm rolling over anyway." And I think, when I was a kid, I'm sure there were times when I was vulnerable and I felt I got teased, or I got picked on, or I said something in class and I got shut down. And then I decided, all right, I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to risk that. I'm not going to tell people things that might appear weak, because particularly in Australian culture, they're going to laugh at me and tell me to man up.
mm,
So I think that's valid, because these are ways that we learn to protect ourselves until we have the skill and maturity to realize the benefits of being vulnerable. If I'm never vulnerable with you, then I can't ever fully feel love from you.
mm-hmm,
I'm going to feel like you're loving the mask that I'm
mm,
presenting. But yesterday, for example, I'm in a car with my two co-leaders after we've just done this 2-day training for prison staff on authentic relating. And I shared with them the depth of my fatigue that I was feeling and how I wasn't even sure how to handle the car ride. I just wanted to close my eyes and listen to an audiobook and try and survive the trip back because my head hurt so much. And it felt really risky and vulnerable to share the depth of that, because to me it's weakness.
mm-hmm.
And they might think, "Oh, I won't have that guy come and teach next time."
Right.
And they were amazing. They just really got my world, and they asked questions and they showed so much compassion. And I shared more with them than I think I've shared with anybody about my struggle with fatigue. And I felt so close to them. Now I just wrote to them today and I said, "Hey, family," because they feel like family to me. And that could never have happened if I hadn't taken a risk and really shown who I was.
That's really beautiful. That's really beautiful. And yeah, and it's true. If you're, I mean, I think I love my husband so much more because he saw me, he saw me, he sees me when I'm glamorous, he sees me when I'm not glamorous, he sees me when I'm angry, he sees me when I'm loving, and I'm very open with him. That's like, plus it's hard for me to hide my feelings.
Yeah, yeah.
So, kind of
Would you,
like an
would you
open book.
say, would you say, so you're an open book. Would you say, you don't have to tell me what the secrets are, but would you say you have zero secrets from your husband? There's nothing about your life or your past that your husband knows? Or would you say that you choose maybe one or two things that are like, that remain private?
I think he knows mostly everything.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's pretty rare.
Hmm.
Um, when I first got married, I, I had something that I'd been holding that I told almost nobody. I was so ashamed of it. And I thought, I don't want her to marry me not knowing this. Because then I can always wonder if she knew this, maybe she would regret marrying me. So it made sense to me logically. I have to tell her. So I
Hmm.
told her, and she was just super loving. She's like, "Oh, I can totally understand that. I love you." She might have even respected me more for sharing it, um, and I'm glad I did. So there's something about. I'm not saying that everybody listening to this should go and share all their secrets with their partner. I'm not saying that, but there's something wonderful about knowing that there is nothing, absolutely nothing withheld that could ever bite you. If they found it out from someone else, or you was talking in your sleep, and they found out about something, there's nothing they could get upset by because everything's known. That's a really wonderful place to be. And if you, most people have some secrets or some things that they have shame around. I'm suggesting if you move in that direction with some artistry and perhaps some care, and you can get to that point where these things are revealed and you're still accepted and loved, then you've got real love.
Hmm.
And you know it, rather than always subconsciously knowing, well, they love what they see. I don't know if they'd love all of it.
Yeah. I love it. I love what you just said. It's not easy being in the space of truth. It's not easy. But I rather share my truth and deal with the uncomfortable situation and get it out of the way, because when things accumulate that are in the way, it just blocks the relationship. And I mean, sometimes you have to maybe sugarcoat the truth a little bit, not to hurt the other person. But I like to live my life based on truth to the best of my ability.
Mm.
Um,
Well,
yeah,
sugar coating is a really interesting thing. Like we talk about white lies.
yeah.
Let's it's a white lie. We're going to spare the person's feelings. I don't like that. I've lived enough in a world where the truth wasn't told, and I
Mm,
would rather be offended. This is my point of view. I'd rather be offended by a viewpoint someone's has, so that I can know them more and I can deal with my own feelings and then maybe learn from it,
hmm.
rather
Lately,
than
I've
them. Go ahead.
yeah. No, okay, thank you. Sorry. I just feel like me lately. I'm so so such a straight shooter with people, and I stopped caring about what they think about me. Like, what you think about me is not my business. I cannot
Right.
change the way you think about me. I
Yep.
cannot make you love me or like me. You don't even know who I am. What you know is that part of me that you see. So I'm not gonna spend the rest of my life justifying who I am for you to feel good about yourself.
Yeah, that's powerful. You just said, what you think about me is not my business. I've got so much to do just handling what I think about me.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense for me to take on what you think about me. Byron Katie is one of my favorite teachers,
I love her,
and
yes.
yeah, and she said, someone said to her, "Hey, careful of that person. You shouldn't be friends with her. She just wants to be friends with you because of your money."
Yeah.
And Katie said, "Well, how wonderful for her." She said that that's her business. You know,
Right?
it's my business who I'm friends with and why. It's not my business why she wants to be friends with me, but she does want to be friends with me. And I like
Yeah.
her. And I
Yeah.
just thought that was incredible.
Yeah. And Byron Katie was on my husband's show, Get Yourself Optimized.
Oh, yeah?
And yeah, and John Gray, you said, was the one that you work with, John and Jack
John's
Canfield.
a friend, and Jack Canfield, yeah.
So yeah, John was on the show too on Stellar Life
Oh, sweet.
as well. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Katie's going to appear on my show when it launches in a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, she's
So,
amazing.
oh, I love her. I spent a month with her at Turnaround House.
Oh my God.
And
Wow.
yeah, and she says if I had one prayer, it would be this: God, spare me the need for appreciation and approval.
Mm,
And it
so good.
sounds like you've taken that to heart. To be honest, I still care what people think.
Oh no, no,
I
no.
I
I
do
am a
want
work
them
in
to like me.
progress.
Yeah,
Yeah, I want to be liked, loved. I want everybody to think that I'm like the best thing since
yeah,
peanut butter jelly, and I'm so
yeah.
smart, and I'm so cute, and I'm so lovable.
Oh, I
But
love hearing that. But you know that, and having you tell me that, now I trust you more because I get that. I get that about you, and that I can shower like and love and praise on you, knowing that you want that. It's
I do.
conscious.
Tell me more.
Yeah, you're gorgeous. I mean, you said I'm not ready for video, and then 5 minutes later you appear, and I'm like, it's like you've had an hour. Like, what happened? You're amazing. So, but I love that you know that. Most of us have got this subconsciously running that we want approval and like, and it's evolutionary. If you didn't have this in caveman and cavewoman days, you would die because the
Yeah,
tribe would
kicked
kick you
out.
out. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I think it's natural, but it's covert. It's subconscious, and we're constantly trying to get it. If you can notice that, then you can say like you just did, yeah, I want to be liked. And when you think I'm cute and think adorable and smart and funny, I want all that.
Hmm.
And I'm going to try and make it overt so it's above the table rather than some kind of subconscious manipulation.
Yes. Um, Thank you. Let's talk about the time where I looked at your website and it made me cry. I actually looked at the video you did with women prisoners, and I
Yeah.
cried. I cried. Like I
Yeah.
had to like take the time to relax, cried type of crying.
Mm.
And it was just so beautiful. The fact that not too many people go to prisons and work with prisoners. It's a taboo. It's something that is usually outside of most people's comfort zones. And and just to see the little clip, I know that there is an whole episode that I would love to see, but just a little clip on your website and see these women, and they're not prisoners. They're just women that are,
Right.
and they're so beautiful, and they made a terrible mistake, and they're going to pay for
Yep.
that mistake for the next 20 some years or whatever. And
Right.
some of them are so young, and some of them left their family behind, and it was, I'm getting chills just talking about it.
Yeah.
How
Did you? I'm
Wow.
curious. Did you? I know there's a clip that's like 2.5 minutes. Did you watch that one, or did you watch the longer one that's 29 minutes?
No, just the 2.5 minutes.
Oh
That was enough to
wow!
make me
Because
cry.
speaking
That was
you're
enough to
speaking
make
like
me.
you really know their stories. Because the 29 minutes you really get to know them.
I took everything to heart. I
Yeah.
actually listened to what they like. I was, it was almost like I was in the room, and I was like,
Wow.
and you know what else made me cry? It connected me to my mission with what I want to do with women, what I do, but what I want to do on a bigger scale, and just seeing the transformation. Oh my God, I'm like choking right now. Beautiful.
Oh. And what is it that you want to do with women on the bigger scale?
Ah, breathe. Wait.
Right.
Yeah. So what I do with women, I mean, it's quite similar to what you do. Maybe less strategic and more right brain. Um, it's just helping them find more self-love, self-forgiveness, healing, confidence, connection to their femininity and sensuality unapologetically, and just daring to dream and living their best life ever, and attracting the best of attracting their dreams and taking actions courageously.
Well, yeah, these women in prison can definitely use some healing, some self-forgiveness, and you hear Mackenzie. I really got to know a couple of them because for 2 days, we filmed the workshop, and then we took two inmates aside and we filmed them and interviewed them and got their stories, which will really make you cry. Mackenzie, for example,
No more, I can't handle it.
oh, you can't handle it? We shouldn't go there?
I'm joking.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mackenzie is 25 years old,
Hmm.
and 2 years ago she planned a robbery. She helped
Yeah,
plan a
I
robbery,
remember her. Yeah. Hmm.
and yeah, for the listeners, she wasn't there for the robbery. She didn't execute it, but she helped plan it, and she like exchanged a couple of phone numbers and connected a couple of people, and they didn't follow the plan. They went and did something else. Someone got shot and killed,
Oh
so
wow.
she got convicted of felony murder.
Wow.
So she's in prison for 25 years.
Wow.
And she's such a sweetheart. And as she says, she can't even begin to forgive herself because she's starting to own the part that she played. And as I see these women needing self-forgiveness and needing compassion and love, I realize that all of us have a form of that. All of us have done things that we carry guilt around or wish we could change. All of us have things that we feel shame around. I'm too fat, I'm too old, I'm too ugly, I'm not smart enough, I'm not productive enough, I don't make enough money, whatever. We all have this. And for me, it all comes back to, can we notice that and see the places where we're not loving ourselves and hold ourselves there and step by step find our own innocence,
I love that.
which is
One
the
of
path to self-love.
Yes, one of my mentors, Dr. John DeMartini, said,
Oh yeah.
"Whatever, whatever you did or did not do, you are worthy of love." And that's a powerful sentence that I take with me. We're
Yeah.
so hard on ourselves. We carry so much guilt. We lock ourselves in a cage, and we wonder if somebody has the key, but we do because
Yep.
we build that cage. And it's
Yep.
time to set ourselves free. Yeah. Wow, yeah. So, yeah, I'm like, wow, that's amazing what you did with those ladies. And I also like one of my grandest uh dreams is like I saw your workshops and they look pretty insanely awesome. Where you work with a lot of people from stage and you help
Oh
them
yeah.
break through in their lives. I'm like, hell yeah. I mean, the last time I did public speaking was in front of 500 people. It was the first time I was speaking in front of so many people, and it just felt like, I'm home.
Oh yeah.
Uh, oh yeah, it felt
Oh,
so
that's
good.
great. I thought you were going to say you felt terrified,
No, no, no.
but you're like, this is.
I felt awesome.
Oh, I could
Oh, well,
have.
yeah, I'm like, so there is a difference between, fear and excitement can feel the same way. You can have the same reaction with the
Yeah.
excitement in your body and the, maybe shortness of breath or the sweaty palms. But for me, it was excitement. For me, it was I just felt like there was a line of energy between me and the audience, and we are connected, and we are connected, and they're getting it, and I'm getting them, and it was like, oh, hallelujah. It was really awesome.
You found your
So,
calling.
yeah, what's your experience when you teach?
I'm sometimes terrified,
Uh-huh.
um, particularly the time I walked up in front of 1,200 people after not speaking for 6 years. It was just terrifying. In fact, once the most scared I've ever been is when I went on national television in Australia live and I was wearing a kilt and playing guitar and singing. It's kind of like the Gong Show. And I would just like, am I going to remember the words, the chords? I'm going to make a mistake on like in front of millions of Australians.
Oh my
And
God.
I was so terrified, I started to pee my pants.
Oh my God.
Yep. I know this is a lot of information, but this is what happened. Just a few drops came out, and I got doubly terrified because now I'm picturing myself peeing my pants. I'm wearing a kilt too, peeing my pants on national television. That's not a look I want to have.
Mm-hmm.
So fortunately, I was traveling. I'd flown to Melbourne, Australia, to do this show, be on TV, and I had my overnight bag in the green room. So I put on 2 extra pairs of underpants just in case, and then I walked out on stage. So, a lot of people they see me speak, and they have no idea that I'm terrified. It just doesn't show on my
It
face.
doesn't show at all. You look like a megastar.
Yeah, thank you. What happens pretty much when I get up there, I found a way to connect with myself and to be
Mm.
present and with the audience. And I think I have a natural way of speaking into their listening because I don't want to just speak at them. I want to offer something that's going to make a difference. So I kind of speak in a way, and I check sometimes. Would this be? Do you want to talk about this? Because if you don't, we can go to the pub and have a beer.
Mm.
So I'm not attached as much anymore. Even though I do want them to like me and think I'm great, I don't think I need it anymore. And that's had me be terrified until I get up there. Once I'm there, once I breathe, once I see some people smiling, and I'm speaking about something I really care about, I'm good. And you're right. I think I have that sense like I'm home. I love this, and it didn't happen the first few times I spoke, and that's why I quit for 6 years, because I just felt terrified and like a fraud on stage. But then something,
Imposter syndrome. Oh,
yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
hard.
And also I was young. I was like 27 and trying to teach people about living a great life.
Uh-huh.
So that was awkward. But then something had shifted in me, and I went and spoke in front of 1,200 people, and a guy said to me at the end, "You seem Buddha-like on stage." And I'm like, "What? I'm just Australian." But I think what was going on is that I was comfortable with myself, and I even laughed at myself when I made a mistake, and I shared it with the audience, and I told them how I screwed up, and I actually started having a lot of fun.
Mhm.
So still adrenaline pumping through my body with 1,200 people and all these cameras, but I started having a lot of fun up there.
Mhm.
I still
Um,
get scared though. I just got scared, a
no,
bit
everybody,
nervous.
I get scared too. I won't tell you that I wasn't scared, but
Yeah,
for me, the scare would just became like this rush of adrenaline and excitement.
yeah, yeah. That's my reminder that I have 5 more minutes to prep for a session.
Okay. So, well, we don't have much time. I have two questions for
Yeah,
you, and then we're gonna let the listeners know how they can reach you and watch that clip that is just so beautifully and inspiring.
yeah.
First question. Um, you have something on your website that where you say tailor your life to your business. So how can you tailor your life around your business? And the second one is, what are your three top tips to living a stellar life?
Well, I might be able to answer the second one, but I don't remember ever writing "tailor your life to your business."
Okay. Okay, we'll scratch that. Okay.
Okay,
Um, we'll take it out of the audio.
okay.
David, what are your three top tips to living a stellar life?
Add more truth to your life, especially when it's difficult, because there's gold there in the areas that feel awkward and difficult. In fact, I just realized that is the path to self-love
Nice.
as well. The second one, um, unless you're already a crazy adventurer and you're already jumping out of planes and just like risking every area of your life. Unless you're that, a lot of people could use more daring. Take a little bit of a risk. I know there's value in playing safe, but there's so much value in fully exploring and living your life, and you won't know until you do it. I don't want you on your deathbed saying, I wish I'd been more honest. I wish I'd gone for it more in my business. I wish I'd just told that person what I really thought. I want you on your deathbed when that time comes saying, I gave it everything. I didn't hold back. And the third one is to deepen connections. We can get distracted by shiny things, commercial things, buying. I love buying stuff. Distracted by business success and making money. But at the end of the day, again, I believe when we're on our deathbed, what we're going to judge ourselves on are the depth of our connections. Did I express my love for people? Did I deepen my love for people? Did I care for people? And I know this is true because just look at all the movies we love and value. We see those values in those movies, but in our lives, we sometimes get distracted. So whatever you can, and by the way, the first two tips are going to help you with the third one of deeper connection. If you increase the level of truth and increase your level of daring in relationship, then the outcome is
deepening your connection.
Yeah, deeper connection. Or you may lose that connection, but that might be the right thing.
Right.
To happen. If you're honest and that person leaves, okay, that's good information.
That's great information.
So more truth, more daring, and more connection.
Yes. How can people connect with you, find you, take your workshops, etc.?
Yeah, well, the main thing I'm focusing on now is simply one-on-one coaching for the right people. So my website is playforreal.life. L-I-F-E, playforreal.life. And if you want the prison video, just click on prison up the top. But the way I find, I only work with 15 people at any given time. And the way I find the right people to work with is I offer a discovery session for free, if you qualify. So if something resonated here on this call and you're thinking you'd love to create a plan for your life and business, then request a discovery session. And if at the end of that call you want to go off and implement that plan on your own, great. I'm not attached to us working together. It may not be appropriate. I hope you'll let me know how it goes. But if we both feel that coaching could have a really big impact on your life and business, then we can talk about coaching then. There's a big button right up the top of the site that says request a session. You can't miss it. And that's playforreal.life.
Thank you so much, David. And thank you, listeners. Remember, add more truth into your life. Adding more truth to your life is the path to self-love. Dare more. Deepen your connection. Express your love. And have a stellar life. This is Orion. Till next time.